Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you're having a good day. So, today I want to talk about an area or a feature of MPC that I did know. I mean, I found myself eventually after exploring the machine as much as I could. And once I found it, I was like, well, what is this for? I don't understand. This is useless. It makes no sense. It took me a bit of a bit of time, but once I got it, I understood what the purpose was, and it felt great because there's so much stuff you can do, um, functionality wise. Like it's very good, it's great. And let me explain to you how this works. So first, let's go. Step one. So first, I'm gonna bring you to this page. We have to go to the main page of the MPC. Remember, this applies for MPC Live, One, X, any. You're in the main page, right? And you're gonna go program edit, which can also be found here on top. Program edit, bam, and you always get the first page is master. Actually, that's how it looks. So after master, you get the samples page, and the samples page contains 4 little pages. In the first one, you see the sample that you loaded and all its layers. Check this out. We know this, right? Like there are 4 layers that you can load on each path, like 4 layers of sound. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can see the semitones, the key. This is amazing. It's one of the new features of Akai 2.10.0, whatever, the latest version. And yeah, this is important. So this is the first page. Then we have a second page, and this is where it gets interesting. You can also see the layers, semitones for the pitch, fine, level, and panning, right? We're going to explore, well, this is the second page, and the third page, and this is where I want to get. Offset, what's that? Why? Like, why should I do that, right? Offset and the layers. So we get layers, offsets on the third page, and the fourth, which I won't cover in this video, but maybe I want to talk about it in the next one because it's also super useful. It's a new feature as well. It came with the latest update, right? Okay, so I'm gonna give you the most basic, but it's basic, but at the same time it's huge, Snares. Sometimes we want the snares to sound a bit different. Sometimes we want the snares to sound bigger, or sometimes we want them to have a stereo information, but also we want to combine things. We want to have fun. We want better snares, like crazier. Like you feel like your snare is a bit weak. Well, this tip is for you. I loaded in these pads. Check this out. 1, 2, and 3. These 3 pads have 3 different snares. Well, 2 snares, 1 clap. Clap. And thanks to this trick tip, whatever, I made it to combine the 3 into 1 pad. The 3 sounds are combined in here. And it's amazing. It's very useful. And it's a snare that, I don't know, it can be replicated, but it gives me the feel that it's something that I just created and it cannot be copied that easily, like it's my snare, my combination, my mix, my recipe. So how to get here? So first you're gonna load 3 sounds that you like, but they have to be very different. Very different. These are the rules of the game, right? 3 different snares, or 2 snares, 1 clap. The key is important. You need to know whatever song you're playing, whatever chord progression, melody, whatever that is, make sure you're checking the key here for each of the sounds. For example, sound 1, It's E, E minor. This is G sharp. This is E minor as well. Okay. For G sharp, I'm gonna make it G. Actually, I want E, G, and another E. This E could be actually. Let's make it. Let's assume we're playing a song in with the white keys of the piano. You know, like C major, A minor scale, right? Which is actually here. All these notes are valid for the natural minor of A. I can make videos on theory as well. I know a little bit, so I can help you with this stuff. But basically, you need to know what key you're playing because you want your snares to hit those notes and nothing else. If your snare hits a note that's not pitched properly, it's not gonna sound as cool as it should. Okay, so the clap. I'm gonna have my clap in maybe F. Nice. So I decided, you know, I was playing my song, I was enjoying myself. I picked the sounds, they all sound good. I have 3 snares that sound okay. I'm gonna combine them. So first you have to select the new path, and you have to make sure that in this first page of samples, layer 1, 2, and 3, you load here the sounds that you need. You know, the same snares, just find them in this drop down menu. Once you click, you're gonna see the list of all the samples loaded. I have a massive amount of J Dilla sounds here because of the hats and all that stuff. But yeah, basically you need to find in each of the layers 1, 2, 3, and even 4. You could have 4 snares there, for example. But let's do 3 only. 1, 2, and 3. And let's check the pitch of each. I decided I was gonna make it G, E, and F, right? Those are my sounds for snare. Once you load it, basically every time you press this path, you have the 3 layers ready with the sounds. You know, you can see the name of the sample here. So each of the layers, you're gonna hear it as you're gonna keep on pressing the path till you have the 3 sounds loaded. That's your goal in this page. Nothing else. Check the key. Check the right sound is loaded. That's the first step. Done. Then you're gonna move to the next page. In this one, this is the thing, this is the rule. You cannot play 3 snares at the same time, at the same volume. It's too much. The point of having a big snare is not just making it louder in terms of amplitude. It's about the harmony. It's like having a note or having a chord. So basically, before you had a single note, but now you have a chord. So your snare sounds like a chord because it contains 3 sounds, right? But it's too loud because some of those frequencies might be shared, and the EQ and the origin of the sound and the recording, many factors can affect that. So you have to do this by ear a little bit. It's important that you move to the second page and you go to level. In level, what I normally do is to the second, on top I have my main snare. There's one snare that I feel like this one is the most important one. For me, this is my favorite snare, and the other ones become secondary, right? So let's go back. This is the single sample. This is the combined sample. This sound in here it's at 127, and the others are 64. So 64, they're sharing, you know, gain. Of course, you can play with this. You can do whatever you want, but the rule is that it cannot be louder. It cannot be louder than it was before. You have to add harmony, but not volume. Well, once you have this done, 64 for the secondary samples, 127 for the first one. Sometimes it's good to send one to the left, one to the right, just for a little bit of stereo, generate stereo information. It's just good. You don't want everything to be in the middle, and you don't know. Sometimes the samples, different sources, different type of snares. Some snares are very stereo-like. You hear them on the sides, but not in the middle. Other snares, they're strictly in the middle. They have no stereo information. So play with this. Play with this a lot, because what you're trying to do is spreading that hit. Boom. You want to have it in stereo as much as possible, right? It's just gonna sound. It's gonna sound good. What I do to check levels, to check panning, all that stuff, I go back to the main page, and in this section, I select the path. This one that you see here, boom. This is the program, this is the path. I select the path, and then I see the volume. You see this bar here? You have to see where it's hitting, where's the peak level, and then compare it with the peak level of the original sound at full level. So I'm gonna press full level here. You see how they're very similar? The only difference is that the secondary one, it's got like additional layers, a longer tail, right? So check the level here, check the peak level of all the samples, make sure nothing is louder than it should, but this is your reference. This is your reference. If it's clipping, of course it's bad. If it's louder than before, if the new sample, the combined snare, sounds louder than the original main snare, you have to go back to this page and fix it. Then the last step, we're gonna get to the last step, which is basically the offset page. And this is the most interesting one. Obviously here we have everything in 0, just one sample, whatever. Well, with offset, what we're doing, and I've already done it, you see my 3 samples, 1, 2, 3, the main sample remains 0 offset, like exactly as it should be played, from start to end. And these ones that are minus, they're gonna come late. They're gonna come late. That's why I picked this snare first, because the attack of this snare is very good. But I wanted longer tails. How did I achieve that? Offsetting samples 2 and 3. This is done by ear. But let me show you. Let me show you. I'm gonna send this back to almost 0. We're gonna play with it. And that's why I feel like this page was meant to be the snare generator or something. Okay, all the samples playing at the same time. 0 offset. Yeah, it's like, but if you offset the other 2, check what happens. I'm gonna exaggerate, okay? It's sample number 2. Can you hear it? The second hit, taka. It's too much. Obviously, we're going too far. So I'm gonna reduce this. And this is good because the attack of the first snare and the attack of the second, they're not conflicting anymore. So if this was the transient of the attack of the very first sample, now you have a secondary transient that's hitting and extending the tail and the sound of that snare. So do this. Make sure you do this at least a little bit, because you don't want both transients to hit at the same time. If they hit at the same time, you get like a huge transient and it's gonna sound bad. Now let's check with the clap. The clap is gonna be the most critical one. This is the clap. Oh, sorry. This is the clap. Obviously, we don't want that, you know? You cannot play music like this. It's not musical, but if it's just slightly delayed, you can hear it like coming a little bit late, but that's perfect. Like that. We got a big snare. That's how it works. You have to offset the other two to create like a longer tail, an additional transient with attack, you know, like, but this is the trick. It's very important that you do it. Offsetting a little bit. It depends what you have in the sample, but it's done by ear. It's done by ear when it feels right. And well, basically that's what I wanted to show you. I guess this is the most useful thing I've found for this feature, but there must be more. There must be more. So if you know other stuff, let me know. See you in the next video. I'm working on a Squid Game sample clip, whatever you want to call it. So I'll try to have it ready for today. Take care. See you in the next one.